The purpose of this video is to turn on the password protection in the MCS Array software. We're going to close the MCS software, find the setup config file, open the setup config file in Notepad, change the update setting to 98, and then open the MCS Array software. Start with click on File and go to Exit and click on Exit to get out of the Array software. Now find the Array icon, right click on it, go down to Properties, and then go to Open File Location. Go down Explorer and find out setup.cfg. Right click on setup.cfg and go to Open With and choose Notepad. Go ahead and click Notepad. And then when you're in the Notepad, the CFG file, go down to where it says update equals 99. We're going to switch that to 98. So go down, you can do a search and update if you want, or just go right to update and just change that to 98 and go ahead and do File, Save. You got to do that before you go into the software. File, Save. Now we want to go back into the Array software, and it should come up with a security password protection. So let's try that. So the first thing we should see is Manager, and it should ask for a password. It defaults to no password. So if I hit OK, there's no password. Once you're back in the Array software, you're going to see a security box come up here, and it's going to default to Manager. You have 3 different levels: Manager, Supervisor, Operator. At this point, you don't have any passwords in your system, so you hit Control-Alt-P, and it will come up. And this is where you define the passwords for all 3 levels. So I'm going to put, for Manager, I'm going to put MCS. And then for Supervisor, I'm going to put Apple. And then for Operator, I'm going to put Blue. You obviously can put more characters in there to set the passwords at a higher level. This is not designed to be a high-tech, high-level security password protection. This is designed just to stop operators and people from changing jobs out on the floor. So go ahead and set passwords, and now I just go in and should say MCS, and it's capital letter sensitive, so I hit that, and voila, I am in. Now that we got the password protection set up, I want to show you how it works. So let's start with Operator. So this screen will come up when you go into the software, and I click on Operator, and my password was Blue. So as I go in, I'm going to go into the job and show you the difference between an operator and everybody else. So an operator on the floor, we're going to set the password to operator so that the operator can't move around or change the template in any way. You notice I click on the objects here and nothing shows up. And I can't move it, I can't change any data. So that might be ideal for an operator to protect the integrity of the mailing. Also, for an operator, I can't change the data file. I can't do anything with the data file or the settings. So the only thing I can do as an operator is print and stop. I'm going to change the password now, or the password protection, to Supervisor, and as I remember, it was Apple for the password. And I'm going to show you the difference with Supervisor. So if I go over to Template, a Supervisor can tweak the positioning and change the data, or not change the data, just move the positioning of the objects. But if I double click on the objects, they cannot change the content of the object. So this is for tweaking the job in the middle of the job. They might have to move it left or right, up and down. And if I go over to File, once again, a supervisor cannot change the data file. we're using that function purely as a manager, and we're thinking that the IP our data processing DP person would be the person that would change that, not the people on the floor. So for a supervisor, you can move around the objects, you can't change the objects, and you cannot change the data file. You can start and stop the print, though. The last level of password security is manager. So if I click up here on manager, and I put the password in, and hit OK, this gives us full access to the software. So if I go into template, if I double click on the field, it gives me full access for the formatting. I can change fonts, I can change the fields that we're going to print, I can move around text any way I want to, and finally, obviously I can change the database file that I'm using for the job. So with Manager, I have full access to the process. Now, it's important to know if a manager comes out to the floor, changes something, he must or she must click here to log out. Once I do this, that logs me out, and you have to choose a security setting to get back in. So as you can see, the password protection is simple, but it should be effective in giving you a quality control system so that you can be assured that the operators don't have the ability to change the job on the floor. Only a supervisor can change the placement of an object, and only a manager can change everything in a job.